Okay, so this is your second nutrition video from me. And honestly, this video is about keeping things simple. So in the other video, we talked about ideas for healthy snacks. We talked about macronutrients, which might have rocked some of your worlds. But I want to make clean eating simple for y'all. Honestly, it's not something to stress yourself out about. Really the core of clean eating is making it a habit and making it a lifestyle. So many people, get frustrated because they have a bad day, or they have a bad meal, or they go out of town for the weekend, or they go on vacation, and they're like, I can't do this. But think about life, okay? Like the things that we're learning in this group, it's not just something that you're doing for these 60 days, okay? It's not just something you're doing for the duration of the group. It's something that you're doing for life. We're building habits that last, and it should be easy to follow after you get used to it and after you get the hang of it. So make yourself aware. That is the best piece of advice that I can give you. Clean eating is about taking food at its most natural form. So I want to first talk about vegetables. Like, what is the thing that you learn as a child as far as what's healthy food or how to eat healthy food? It's all about vegetables, right? And fruit too, but mostly vegetables. Everybody's like, eat your vegetables, eat your vegetables. Well, there's a reason for that. Your body digests them quickly. You're going to fill up on them quickly. That's why they're a great snack. That's why they're a great addition to every meal, or they can be the base of your meal. And you're going to have great results from eating a lot of vegetables. So programs like the 21-Day Fix, if any of y'all are doing that, you can see that the focus is vegetables, right? Or that's why kind of, vegetarianism or veganism has become really big over the past few years, because really the focus is supposed to be on vegetables. But when you break clean eating down, vegetables are a great way to eat clean. Lean proteins, so obviously the leaner the meat, the better. It doesn't matter if it's beef, chicken, turkey, salmon, fish, anything you can think of as far as lean meat, just try to make it as lean as possible. And nuts and beans and that sort of thing. I would really just kind of focus on how to make things as simple and as natural as possible. So even down to eggs, right? I mean, it's not rocket science. It's things that you know, that you've heard perhaps before, and now it's just putting them into practice. We all know we need to eat vegetables. We all know that we need to eat lean meats and focus on less fats and less sugar. That's it. It's doing it. It's putting it into practice. It's not letting yourself, oh, let me treat myself with this bad meal over here, and then you feel bad about it 30 minutes later. It's treating yourself in different ways. It's getting in a great workout. It's going and doing something active with your family. It's spending quality time with your family. Those are the ways that we're going to be treating ourselves, not with a big bowl of ice cream. Okay, so I have some notes. I have a cheat sheet. Let me look. So a couple of tips to help raise your metabolism. The goal is to be eating every 2 to 3 hours. And for sometimes people are like, that's a lot. But you have to think about it in really small portions, like we've talked about. And your metabolism should work for you. In other words, your metabolism should be hungry. So a great way to do that quickly is to stop eating each day 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. So let's say you go to bed at 10 p.m. Okay, that means that your last meal or your last snack is between 6 and 7 o'clock at night, and then you don't eat again before you go to bed. Let's say you go to bed at midnight. Then your last snack or your last meal is around 8 o'clock. Okay, so just think about that, because you don't want to go to bed having just eaten, or really you don't want to go to bed on a full stomach, because then your metabolism is having to work like an overdrive to process and digest that food. Your goal is to be hungry when you wake up. Every day when you wake up, that is your goal, to wake up and be like, I need to eat. I need to have my first snack, or I need to have breakfast. That's your goal. That is a key indicator that your metabolism is firing for you, okay? Eat early. Try to get, like I talked about before, try to get about 60%. I do more like 75% of your daily calories by 3 p.m. each day, okay? I'm posting a simple grocery list for y'all. I know there's going to be like a thing that says grocery list, and then there's a version that says simple. And honestly, if you're like wanting to know this quick, just print out the simple one. It's got everything you need to know on there. And again, proteins, vegetables, really focus on that. Some carbs, some fruit. Fruit, some people have a preference as far as, you know, oh, you should eat this fruit or this fruit. It's fruit. So don't overindulge on fruit because it does have a lot of sugar, even though it's natural sugar, and it is kind of like a carb category. But lots of vegetables, and think some fruit, okay? And then sweeteners. So, goodness, I could do like a whole different video on this because I like totally fell into this category too. I used to be addicted to Diet Coke before Shakeology came into my life, and now it's Diet Coke's like the most repulsive thing ever. But I want to talk about artificial sweeteners. So aspartame, sucralose, Splenda, what else is there? Equal, Sweet and Low, all that stuff. Anything with ose kind of at the end of it, besides the natural ones like glucose and fructose and stuff, those are, you know, you want to try to stay away from those as much as possible. And there's no like really accurate proof that they cause disease or cause cancer or anything like that, but the thing with those are they are actually all artificially sweeter than actual sugar. So drinking diet soda all day, or eating, you know, 100-calorie bag of cookies or of, you know, whatever, you know, diet stuff and low-calorie stuff is usually kind of filled with that partially hydrogenated soybean oil or corn seed oil or whatever. Same thing, okay? So any sort of processed food and any type of diet drink always going to have at least one of those in there. So be on the lookout for that. If you need a fake sweetener, you can go with Stevia. Try to get it in its most natural form. If you have a farmer's market around, that's a great place to get it. So that's really the safe one because it's derived from a leaf. So that's what I have to say about sweeteners. Again, just try to stay away from them. You're never going to completely get away from them if there is processed food in your house because they're everywhere. But just limit it. Again, you're trying to keep things natural. So, you know, whole grains, lean meats, nuts, fruits and vegetables. I mean, that stuff is natural, like from the earth. It doesn't have fake stuff in it. And then the last thing I want to talk about is going over not just your nutrition label, because we talked about that in the last video, but the ingredients. Y'all, that is like the biggest tip I can give you. When you're eating something processed, or before you eat something processed, flip it over. Under the nutrition label is the list of all of the ingredients. And I want you just to look at it, and if there's a ton of stuff in there that you can't pronounce, or if the ingredients list is like this long, try to stay away from it, okay? I talked about, I think in the other video, you know, Laura bars. Those are like a natural bar, and you can see the ingredients is like walnuts and dates and, you know, cashews or whatever fruit is in it. Something like that is a really good indicator of kind of where we're moving the health food industry is, as far as, you know, making things have less ingredients. If you look at baby food, and I can say this because I have a young kid, but if you look at baby food, all of their stuff is like 5 ingredients, 4 ingredients, 3 ingredients. Like, it's so natural because their little bodies can't process all the fake stuff. So why should our bodies process all the fake stuff, right? So look at the ingredients, and that's what clean eating is all about. Just keeping these as natural as possible. I know we live in America, and I know we live in a quick world where it's just easy to grab some carb-filled snack or to go through a drive-through. But for this challenge, just think about how easy it can be to keep fresh vegetables, fresh fruit, and some sort of lean meat in your house to cook for dinner. I am not a cook. My husband laughs at me every time I cook something because it literally probably doesn't even take me 30 minutes to cook something. I have like 10 kind of go-to recipes that I do over and over and over. Every once in a while I'll venture out, but most of the time I just stick with the same thing because I know how to do it. Whenever we go to restaurants, I kind of like am a nerd. I, like research what I can order before I go, or if I didn't do that, then I have go-to items that I usually order from different restaurants that we're going to, okay? And what do? I ask for no cheese. If it's supposed to be on something, I ask for no cheese. I always have dressings on the side, or if it's a creamy dressing, I just ask them to bring me some sort of vinaigrette or like a salsa or something like that. I try to keep things simple. So if you're keeping things simple, then probably you're going to be eating pretty clean. Go to Pinterest, go to skinnytaste.com, and there's going to be a lot more information for you, especially if you're a recipe person. On Pinterest, you can search for 21-day fix recipes. Amazing. There's so many options for you there. So if you love to cook, if you love food, that doesn't mean that you can't be creative with your clean eating and with your healthy food, and it doesn't have to take you hours to prepare something. It can be very simple. Post any questions you have below. Let's get started with this.